Welcome to the Phil Steele Plus tour for December 26th. I'll have one more up for you. It'll probably be on Friday. A little disappointed in last week's tour. The selections going 0-2 in the colleges. The NFL play did win, and the quick hitters currently 0-1 with one game left on the quick hitters from the last tour. So disappointed with how it went. 26-16 is the updated selection record over the last 12 weeks. I've got two selections for you today. Two more quick hitters, and an NFL selection for you. So let's get right to it. We'll take a look at this USC-Louisville game, which takes place one of these days coming up. And this is my last 4 weeks AGG play, and it's a dog. So as you know from watching the tour, the last 4 weeks AGG has done better as a dog. The dog plays are now 4-2 for the last 4 weeks AGG game of the week. The favorites haven't done as well, including the loss on last week. So we'll go with the dog in the last 4 weeks. Start with there. Last 4 weeks, USC a 109.8, Louisville a 113.6. USC might have a 1 point home edge. So that's saying that Louisville right here should be about under a 3 point favorite, and they're laying 7.5. I want to point out how USC did at the end of the year. They went 1-5 down the stretch. Got to think that's not the way that they want to finish off the season. They'd like to have a little bit more momentum going into the Big Ten next year, and of course recruiting and signing transfers. A 1-6 finish wouldn't be good. So I do think there's a little more motivation on USC's side here this year. Louisville, meanwhile, did not have major expectations coming in the year. 9 wins is a really good season for them, or 10 wins, I should say. They've already accomplished double-digit wins this season. So the motivation, probably a little bit on the USC side. Now, USC's without their quarterback, Caleb Williams, but Miller Moss is a PS number 11 QB. He's had the entire bowl season to prep as the number one guy. And, of course, Lincoln Riley knows how to develop quarterbacks. Now, on the season, he's 23 of 32, 71%. He's got a 1-0 ratio. I think he'll do just fine in this game, and it could be his first game showing that he's the quarterback at USC. Louisville will be without their top running back, Jawar Jordan, and their top receiver, Jamari Thrash. Don't you love all these opt-outs in the bowls? I don't. But anyway, you add it all together, you got the last 4 weeks working for you. We're going to go with USC plus 7.5 over Louisville as your last 4 weeks AGG dog play for this week. I do want to point out real quick, this is available. I mention this because the sooner you get in on it, the better it is. The Super VIP, which is just $69.95, gets you Phil Steele Plus all the way through next year's Super Bowl. Not this year's, next year's Super Bowl. That's a lot of Phil Steele Plus, a $99 value for next year. Whatever the value, $49 for the final 3 months this year. Yeah, all that, plus you get 2 magazines shipped out. You get the digital magazine for free. First 4 issues of Press Box, it's just $69.95. Great deal. Make sure you jump in on that. That's at philsteele.com. Just go to the store for that. All right, let's take a look at a totals play here. And we're going to look at Boston College against SMU. And we're going to put Boston College on the right because they're basically at home. They are at home. And their game being played in Boston, and then we're going to put SMU on the left. Now, SMU in their last game was without quarterback Preston Stone, still put up 26 points against a very good defense. Tulane is one of the better defenses in the country. They gained 68 yards above what Tulane had been allowing on the year, which was the 4th best of any team, and that was with Kevin Jennings at quarterback. So I'm not concerned that SMU has a backup quarterback, as Kevin Jennings started, won the AC title game against a really good defense, has plenty of experience this year. He's thrown 57 passes, and has had the entire offseason, or the entire bowl season, to work with the team. Now, my computer has this one. I'll bring it over here. This is my computer's forecast. Each press box write-up, inside the press box write-up, gives you my computer forecast, gives you a checklist on the game, gives you my write-up on the game, my prediction on the game. The computer best bets. The computer got off to a really slow start this year, but it is just absolutely on fire. 18-7 the last 9 weeks. And anyway, my computer in this game has got a 22.4 to 20.7. So that's basically 64 points. The total in the game is 49.5. Now, I got to think the total is so low because everybody's thinking, well, Kevin Jennings is just a backup quarterback. But I like that factor. So the computer loves the over in this one. 64 points when the total is 49.5. And look at the quarterback for Boston College, Thomas Castellanos. He's run for 957 yards, 11 touchdowns. But look at his passing. 15 touchdowns, 13 interceptions. Now, the interceptions could be good for the total. If you throw an interception, the other team could return it for a touchdown, return it deep in the territory. He's like a wild card in the game. Big plays will happen, and when you got the total, you like to see big plays. So you've got SMU, their average game the last 4 weeks right here, 63 points per game. And Boston College at home, their average home game this year has had 56 points per game. So you've got, and by the way, 56 points per game. So you add all that up, and you have got yourself a totals play of over 49.5. That's over 49.5. Give you a quick update what I'm doing. You know, there's only 48 teams whose seasons are not complete. I am zipping through these first write-ups. What I do is I read through every article that's written about the team for the year. I then have a really good feel for every single position on the team. All the ebbs and flows, I've gone through it, and then I do the first write-through, which was what kind of shape were they heading into last year, what happened last year, and what kind of shape are they heading into this year. Now, I do the magazine in 3 write-ups. The second write-up I do in the spring once the rosters are updated and we make all the changes. And then the third one is after I talk to the head coaches, and that one is in late April, earlier, basically through May. We talk to the coaches and get all the rosters updated. But making really good progress on the team, about 70 right now. And like I said, there's only 48 teams that seasons are not complete. All right, I got 2 quick hitters going for you today in college football. We're going to start off with, we're going to put Memphis on the right, and we are going to put Iowa State on the left. Now, this one, I'm not going to show you anything. I'm going to show you some stuff, naturally, but I want you to look in your magazine. The magazine's a valuable tool, something you can use all year. And remember, you get 2 of them with that super VIP. But when we take a look at Memphis, let's see, we got to find Memphis and Iowa State. There's Iowa State. Take a look at the coaching records for Iowa State at the top for Coach Campbell of Iowa State, and you will see that he's below 500 as a head coach, as a favorite in his career, below 500, and then, add in this year, and he's basically 500 this year, but he's below 500 as a favorite. As a dog, Campbell's career record, 35-19-2, so much better in the dog role for Coach Campbell. And here he's a 9.5-point favorite. So I like that factor. And then flip to the Memphis page if you could. And as you're flipping to the Memphis page, I want you to look at the overall record for Ryan Silverfield at home, straight up. It is 14-4 straight up, or 16-4 straight up. This year he went 4-2 at home. Very close loss to SMU. In that game, they lost by 4, a game they could easily have won. His record at home is 20-6. So you have a poor favorite taking on a great home team. And why do I say home? The game's in the Liberty Bowl. That is Memphis's home field. And if you look this year, they did lose to SMU here by 4. They lost to Tulane. That's a game they could easily have covered. If you go back, you see they were leading at the half. Tulane tucked in a couple of touchdowns in the fourth quarter. Memphis led in the fourth quarter, 21-17. So they're a much better home team. They're much better as a dog than a favorite. We're going to take Memphis plus 9.5 over Iowa State. And I do want to remind you that the schedule, it will be updated. We'll get this thing completely updated today with all your best bets and things like that up there. It's been active for the Bowls. And these are your records on the season. We've done it every week. So use your Phil Steele Plus. Go use the schedule. Check out the best bets. See how they're doing. But they'll be updated for all the rest of the bowls today. So make sure you check that out. All right, and your second quick hitter, we're going to take a look at Notre Dame against Oregon State. Now, a couple things about this. Both teams have had some significant opt-outs here. Notre Dame's without Sam Hartman, without Audric Estime. A couple other players naturally. Oregon State also without some players. DJ Uyunglele, Damian Martinez, their top running back, is out. Despite all these opt-outs, Notre Dame's got better depth. When I went over the team with Coach Freeman, going over the running backs, he really liked the depth. I think with Estime out, they'll find better running backs. They do have Fenwick going for Oregon State, which is good, but I think the overall better depth, better talent goes with Notre Dame. You got an interim head coach against a veteran head coach, which I like. And then how about this? Once again, this is another magazine thing. Go flip to your magazine and let's look at the last 2 years and look at the last 3 years, including this year. Oregon State in Reser Stadium is unbeatable. As you know, I've used a ton of press box plays on Oregon State at home. They are 16-3 against the spread at home the last 3 years. However, on the road, away from Reser Stadium, they're just 6-12 against the spread, and they've got an interim head coach, and Notre Dame has got better depth going with them. So we're going to take Notre Dame -6 over Oregon State. This is a really good Notre Dame team, one that's lost at Clemson, at Louisville, in a bad situation. They were taking on their third straight ranked team on the road. Really good team on the road. And then they lost to Ohio State, a game they could easily have won. Oregon State does not play as well on the road. We're going to take Notre Dame -6 over Oregon State as a quick hitter. And finally, let's go to the NFL. And you guys know I don't watch a lot of NFL. Sorry about that, but I don't. I just focus on college football. But the Browns have been winning, and we're going to go right back to it. And there's some things that are interesting on this one. Naturally, if you go look at the NFL, which we could right here, go right here to the Phil Steele menu, and we're going to click on the NFL. Come on, there we go. NFL, strength of win, pain of losses. I point this out every week. You get credit for every win that your opponent has, and you get credit for every loss of the teams you lose to. So credit for the wins of the teams you beat, credit for the losses. You see Cleveland's one of the best teams. Naturally, the Jets are down here. That's obvious. You've got a team that's going to make the playoffs versus a team with the weaker record. Same thing in the YPG, the YPG category. Pointed out every week. And if you look here in the offensive defense YPP, Cleveland's right there, plus 64 against their opponent averages. The Jets are minus 26. But I thought this was interesting. When you look at the team page for Cleveland, go to the NFL team pages, put the Browns here. The Browns are great at home. They have won. They beat Cincinnati, Tennessee. They did lose to Baltimore, but beat San Francisco. That's a pretty good win. Arizona, Pittsburgh, Jacksonville, Chicago. The Browns at home are plus 122 yards per game, allowing 198 yards per game at home, 345 on the road. They're at home. The Jets, meanwhile, I want you to take a look at how they've done against playoff teams on the road. They've only faced 3 teams that are going to make the playoffs on the road. They played Dallas. They lost by 20. They played Buffalo. They lost by 26. They played Miami. They lost by 30. So when they take on a playoff team on the road, their average loss is by 23.6 points per game. The Browns' defense is stifling at home. It's a Thursday night game. The Jets are traveling on a short week, taking on the Browns at home. I know the Browns are laying 7 here. That's fine. But when you play on a streak, you can win many times, you lose only once. We're going to keep riding the Browns. We're going to take Cleveland -7 over the Jets. The Jets are poor on the road against playoff teams. The Browns are 7-1 against the spread at home, plus 122 yards per game. Got a lot of good things going for you. I will be back before January 1 with your next Phil Steele Plus tour. And I'd like to take this time to thank you for taking the Phil Steele Plus tour with me this week. And I hope everyone had a happy holiday, and be back with you before the new year.